Welcome to The Explainer. If you're an AI power user, you already know how amazing the OpenClaw agent is. But you probably also know that feeling of dread when you think about the API bill. Well, today, we're going to tame that token beast and show you how to use OpenClaw without it completely blowing up your budget. Let's just dive right in, because this is the nightmare scenario, right? OpenClaw is so powerful, but man, it comes at a price. And we're not just talking $200. We've heard from heavy users who are seeing bills over $300 a day. A day, just from letting one automated task run wild. And then there's this one, the one everybody talks about. A tech blogger managed to rock up a bill for $3,600 in 1 month. That's enough to make you want to just pull the plug on the whole thing. So what on earth is going on under the hood that makes these costs spiral out of control so fast? Well, here's the good news. These costs, they aren't random. They're actually really predictable. And once you understand why OpenClaw is so hungry for tokens, you can slash your bill. I'm talking 60, 70, even 80%, and you don't have to sacrifice any of its power to do it. So we've dug through all the user reports, the documentation, the forums, you name it, to really pinpoint the 3 biggest reasons for those runaway bills. It's time to unmask the culprits. Okay, check this out. When you see it broken down like this, it's kind of shocking. Nearly half of all your token costs come from one single source: context accumulation. Let's just call this culprit number 1, the context trap. In this slide right here shows exactly how that trap works. See, with every single prompt, OpenClaw sends the entire conversation history back to the model. So after a long coding session, even a simple question like, "Hey, what time is it?" forces the AI to reread thousands, maybe tens of thousands of tokens of history. And yep, you pay for every single one of them. Okay, so let's move on to our second culprit. And you'll see how this one just builds on top of the first. This is where the agent, trying to be helpful, actually starts working directly against your budget. We call it output overload. Just think about it for a second. You ask your agent to list all the files in a big project directory. It's a simple one-time command, right? Wrong. That massive list gets dumped into the context window, and then it's resent to the model with every single message that follows. You don't just pay for that list once, you pay for it over and over and over again. Now, the fix for this is surprisingly simple, but it is so powerful. Never, ever run commands that might spit out a huge wall of text in your main chat. Instead, just pop open an isolated debug session for those tasks. This keeps all that text from poisoning your main context window and jacking up your costs. And finally, let's talk about the third big cost driver. This one's like a hidden tax you're paying just for keeping the agent running in the background, and it's actually made up of 3 different parts. So first, you've got this really complex system prompt. We're talking 5,000 to 10,000 tokens that get sent with every single call. Then there's whichever model you've picked as your default. And finally, you have those little background automations, those heartbeats, checking for emails or whatever. Each one of those is a full API call. And that model choice, it is absolutely critical. Just look at this chart. Using a top-tier model like Claude Opus for simple everyday tasks is literally like hiring a rocket scientist to tell you the weather. Sure, it'll work, but it's more than 25 times more expensive than a smaller, quicker model like Claude Haiku. Okay, we've laid out all the problems. Now let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. Here are the practical, real-world steps you can take right now to get that OpenClaw budget back under control. First up, let's escape that context trap. You need to make this a habit. The second you finish a major task, just type reset session. It's that simple. As you can see, this just wipes the AI's short-term memory clean, and boom, your cost for the very next message drops right back down to 0. This is the single most effective thing you can do, period. Next, to get rid of that always-on tax, you've got to get strategic with your models. And this user right here, they put it perfectly. Don't just leave your most expensive model running as the default. Be intentional about it. Think of it this way. Use a powerful, expensive model like Opus as the brain. You use it for complex strategy, for the heavy lifting, the deep thinking. But for all the day-to-day stuff, the execution, the simple tasks, you configure your agent to use cheaper, faster models like Haiku or Gemini Flash as the muscles. And this strategy is especially crucial for those background heartbeat tasks. There is absolutely no reason to be burning a premium model on a simple check that just asks, any new emails every 5 minutes? Set those little tasks to run on the cheapest model you can possibly find, and your costs will drop from dollars to fractions of a cent. So the big question, how much can you actually save by doing all this? Well, we looked at real-world data from power users who put these exact strategies into practice. The average cost reduction was over 75%. Think about that. A monthly bill of $150 dropping to just $35. So let's just recap with a quick checklist. Number 1, reset your sessions constantly to manage that context window. 2, isolate those big, noisy commands in a separate debug window. 3, use that brains and muscles approach for your models. And 4, put your background tasks on the cheapest diet you can find. And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. By getting a handle on your costs, you're not just saving money. You're giving yourself the freedom to experiment, to really push the boundaries of what these agents can do without that fear of a shocking bill. So now you can focus not just on making your agent affordable, but on making it truly brilliant. Thanks for watching.